Hi everyone, Qbert here. That content creator that sometimes makes videos and sometimes streams, but it's kind of a coin toss if he really does either. So don't get your hopes up. And I'm back with a video style that I don't really do too often. I think I've maybe done it once before. The reason I'm trying this video style is because I've tried to approach this topic many times before, and each time I've ended up scrapping the video. The most recent one, I was 3/4 of the way through before I realized that I didn't like the way it was going. So instead of getting hung up on the same thing I've tried doing like 3 or 4 times already, I'm gonna just kind of ramble a bit with a couple bullet notes that I'm gonna go through, and try to keep the video as organized as possible. But the title is not lying, there will probably be a lot of me just rambling, so here's to hoping that I put together a somewhat cohesive video and opinion. My main goal with this video is to go over some of the issues that have been plaguing the game for the last few months, the community's reaction to the state of the game, how they've affected the way that I do content, and my optimism with the game going forward. But yeah, without any further ado, let's just get into the biggest topic of this video. So if you've been playing Hunt Showdown anytime within the last few months, I'm sure you're pretty aware that the game's stability isn't great. Now, a lot of people will point to different points in Hunt's history where they think that the game really started to go downhill, but for me, it really started in Update 1.8. It's a pretty infamous update at this point. I'm sure everybody's aware, but if you're not, Update 1.8 was a content update that brought along with it some new features, but also plenty of bugs and exploits. It should have never released in the state that it did. It's honestly pretty embarrassing that this update shipped to live servers the way it did. Just to list off a few of the most notable bugs from this update, the dead body exploit, which would let dead players move around and melee with complete invulnerability, the render issues with hunters where hunters wouldn't render in at certain distances, the ladder exploit, which let you walk up to walls and walk through them on your end, but for the other person you were still on the other side of the wall. Essentially, you had wall hacks. And losing your gun after being revived, which is still an issue to this day. I ran into it recently and it was really not fun. But yeah, just a handful of bugs that all came together in a single update. And since then, gameplay ruining bugs have been found pretty consistently since. Like single shot rifles not reloading and the Lamat exploit. The Lamat exploit being the most recent that I'm sure all of you are familiar with at this point, but I do feel like the Lamat exploit was kind of a boiling point for a lot of people. And it really served as something for the community to point at to just show how bad game stability has become in recent. So yeah, to summarize, the game stability isn't great. It's pretty bad as of right now, and I think we are at a boiling point in the community where most people have gotten very fed up with it. And I want to talk a bit more about that in this section. The Lamat exploit caused a massive online shitstorm. Many notable creators voiced their frustrations online, some even refusing to stream the game or play it until the bug was fixed. Which honestly was kind of nice to hear, not in the sense of content creators not wanting to make content for this game, but to know that I wasn't the only content creator who kind of had this similar sentiment, where, bugs and instability of the game meant that the game just wasn't really enjoyable, or enjoyable for making content. For a while, I really did feel like an old man waving his fist at clouds every time I kind of quietly ranted about the game on stream or just to myself. But to get back on track, this whole online shitstorm kind of just showcased that the whole community is really unhappy with the state of the game. Granted, they're a little split as to why. You have a portion of the community that is unhappy with the lack of content in the game, another portion of the community that is unhappy with the stability of the game, and then you have some people who are unhappy with both. Which I think puts the Hunt dev team in a bit of an unfair position. You can't have both in a reasonable amount of time, at least not with the size of team that Hunt is currently working with. I mean, if you've seen any of their social media posts, or even their in-game posts, or their dev live streams, they're constantly reminding people that they have positions open for new hires. So, while I don't know the actual size of the Hunt dev team, I think it's fair to say that they're working with what little they have. So, to quickly summarize before moving on, I think it's fair to say that there is a modest size of the community that is pretty unhappy with the current state of Hunt Showdown. So, real quick, I just want to go over my personal thoughts. In my opinion, Hunt should hyper-focus on game stability and quality of life features. I think that the game will benefit from this greatly, not just in the short term, but also in the long term. I think working on things like making the reconnect feature more reliable, fixing issues like trading and desync, and general game optimization would be massive for Hunt. While of course I love new content, it can only get you so far when there are other outstanding issues that really detract from how cool that new content is. The core gameplay is fantastic on its own. When Hunt Showdown works and everything goes right, the gunplay is second to none in any shooter I've played. It's phenomenal. Which is why I think that if we focus on Hunt's outstanding issues in game stability, the game can start to trend uphill once again. And yeah, I'm definitely biased here, because for me personally, a more enjoyable game will equal more and better content. The last big project video I worked on was the Goblins of the Bayou vid, and while that was so much fun to edit, it was a fucking pain to record that video. I know that towards the end of recording that video, me, Ice, and Will were absolutely just struggling to get through there and make entertaining content and play up these characters. Each of us were having a pretty miserable time recording that, to the point where, after we wrapped the recording, none of us touched Hunt for a good while. It really did kill our drive to play that game. And it's definitely been that way since. I've definitely been a lot less interested in working on videos and projects, just because of the lack of fun I've really been having when playing on Showdown. But recently, that definitely has changed, and I want to talk about that a bit in this next section. Oh, but before I get into that, I do want to make this last little part, it's kind of a random thing to throw in, but I do want to make a plea for something. Crytek, please, 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 add custom or private games. Please do that. I know this seems really random, and it is, but the reason I'm adding this in is because the potential for content from custom or private games is massive. It opens the gates to do a lot of things, like tournaments, or streamer tournaments where everybody can stream their POV. How fucking cool would it be if you could watch a Hunt video where every person in that Hunt lobby has their own POV that can be edited up into a single video? That would be pretty fucking cool. But you could also do other things like, playing games with your friends and your friends exclusively. You want to 1v1 your friends in Hunt, figure out who's the better hunter, go and do that. You've got some bits you want to record for a video, get one of your friends and go do that. This is definitely a little selfish side note that I wanted to add because I've had so many ideas with custom games in mind, and if custom games ever did get added to Hunt Showdown, I know that I would just have this sudden urge to work on videos and ideas that I've had in the back of my head forever that just aren't possible with the current limitations of Hunt Showdown. So yeah, completely random side note. I just wanted to add that in at the end. So let's move on to the actual conclusion of this video. So, going forward, I have a new wave of cautious optimism. I've been waiting to talk about Update 1.9, as it's pretty recent and it has definitely shifted my perspective on Hunt going forward. If Update 1.9 is everything that it has been described as, this is a huge step in the right direction. And after watching the dev livestream, I definitely feel pretty optimistic about the game going forward. Update 1.9 aims to address a lot of issues that people have been talking about in recent, which is really, really good. As of recording this video, it's out on the test server right now. It hasn't been live yet, so the actual impact of this update remains to be unknown. But at the very least, this is the devs addressing things that the community have been bringing up in recent, and that is awesome. But in terms of what direction the game is really going, only time will tell. So for now, I've just got my fingers crossed, and I'm hoping that this is just a mild hiccup in the history of what is otherwise a great game. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to ramble about. I hope I didn't drone off too much and I was somewhat cohesive. This is a video I've been trying to do for a while. I've just really struggled with accurately wording how I feel about the game. And I think I've finally done it with this video. This is a video topic that has kind of gone through a bunch of changes in terms of where my opinion stands and how I feel with the game, so finally getting this out is definitely going to feel like a weight off of my shoulders. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. I've just really struggled with how to deliver this video. But with this video out of the way, I'm hoping that I can get back into the groove of things and put more content out. I am still working on videos, I haven't put that away this whole time. In fact, I'm working on my biggest project to date, which is the Traits tier list video, and I don't have an ETA for it yet. I guarantee you though it'll be worth the wait. This is definitely the best video I've put together so far, and I want the quality to reflect that too, so I'm going to take my time with it. But yeah, that's it for this video. I think I've cleared up most of what I want to talk about, and I feel good about that. If you like the video, feel free to like it, you know, supports the channel, means a lot. Subscribing too, that does a lot as well. Hey, if you subscribe, you may or may not see future uploads. Will I ever upload another video again? Well, in the eternal words of wisdom from Ice himself, I've got up. But until next time, take it easy.